During World War II, the Pacific Ocean hosted some of the most massive naval battles ever fought between USA and Japan. Fast forward nearly 80 years, and the region is once again a flashpoint, only this time the primary contenders are the United States and China. As both nations race to modernize their fleets with next-generation carriers and cutting-edge warships, the risk of conflict at sea grows ever more real. At the heart of America's strategy lies its most advanced and powerful vessel to date, the Ford-class aircraft carrier. Will the Pacific once again become the site of a new Cold War, or worse, a hot war, between the world's strongest naval powers? Let's find out in today's video. Born out of the CVN-21 program in 2004 and formally approved in 2009, the Ford-class carrier represents the pinnacle of American naval engineering. When the USS Gerald R Ford, CVN-78, entered service in 2017, it wasn't just a new ship, it was a technological revolution. At first glance, Ford seems similar to its predecessor, the Nimitz class, but beneath the surface lies a completely redesigned ship packed with hundreds of innovations. That's part of the reason the USS Ford cost $12.8 billion to build, with an additional $4.7 billion poured into research and development. In total, a nearly $18 billion project, making it the most expensive warship ever constructed. The USS Gerald R Ford is a behemoth of steel and technology, displacing over 100,000 tons. It stretches 1,106 feet in length and spans 256 feet in width, wider than 3 football fields. Standing over 250 feet tall, it functions as a floating city complete with its own airport. On board, the carrier is capable of deploying up to 90 aircraft, including cutting-edge platforms such as the F-35 Sea Lightning II stealth fighters, F/A-18E, F Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, E-2D Hawkeyes for airborne early warning, and utility aircraft like the C-2 Greyhound and MH-60 Seahawk helicopters. Additionally, it is equipped to handle a growing number of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. The Navy is also considering expanding this capability to more than 100 aircraft on future Ford-class vessels. Looking ahead, the Ford-class carriers are being designed with future warfare in mind. In the coming decades, they will serve as the operational hub for the U.S. Navy's 6th-generation F/A-XX fighters aircraft, expected to feature stealthier profiles, advanced sensor fusion, and greater range than anything currently in service. Complementing these fighters will be AI-powered autonomous drones known as Collaborative Combat Aircraft, CCA, sometimes referred to as loyal wingmen. These unmanned systems will fly alongside human pilots, extending sensor reach, absorbing enemy fire, or even conducting independent strike missions. Together, they represent a new era of manned-unmanned teaming that will redefine how carrier-based air power is projected across the globe. At the core of the USS Gerald R Ford's immense power lies its next-generation propulsion system, which is driven by 2 A-1B nuclear reactors developed by Bechtel. These advanced reactors replace the older A-4W models found on the Nimitz-class carriers and generate an impressive 700 megawatts of thermal power, roughly 25% more than their predecessors. This increase in output isn't just for show, it's a necessity. Modern aircraft carriers like the Ford are equipped with energy-hungry technologies, including electromagnetic catapults, high-powered lasers, and sophisticated electronic warfare systems. With such demanding systems on board, the additional energy ensures the Ford class will remain effective and operational well into the future. One of Ford's biggest game changers is its electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMALS. Replacing traditional steam catapults, EMALS uses a linear induction motor to launch aircraft more smoothly, reducing stress on airframes and freeing up internal ship space. With EMALs, Ford can perform 25% more sorties per day and requires 25% fewer personnel to operate, saving the Navy over $4 billion across the life of the ship. For landings, the Advanced Arresting Gear, AAG, brings innovation. Using electromagnetic braking instead of hydraulics, it's precise and perfect for handling lightweight drones that might not survive traditional landing systems. Among the most delayed and scrutinized innovations aboard the Ford-class carrier was the implementation of the Advanced Weapons Elevators. These systems are essential for combat readiness, with 11 elevators each capable of transporting up to 24,000 pounds of ordnance at speeds of 150 feet per minute. Their purpose is to rapidly move munitions from deep within the ship's magazines up to the flight deck, dramatically slashing rearming times from hours to mere minutes. However, this ambitious system faced prolonged technical setbacks during development and testing, contributing to the Ford's infamously slow progress toward full operational capability. Despite the delays, all elevators are now fully functional, marking a significant milestone for the ship. Their activation not only enhances the Ford's ability to sustain high-tempo sortie generation, but also fulfills a key promise of the next-generation carrier: faster, smarter, and more efficient combat operations. Instead of inheriting its radar suite from the older Nimitz class, the Ford-class carriers drew inspiration from the cutting-edge Zumwalt-class destroyers. The first of the class, USS Gerald R Ford, was equipped with the dual-band radar, DBR, developed by Raytheon. This sophisticated system combines both X-band or AIM, SPY-3, and S-band radars into a unified phased array capable of detecting and tracking multiple low-altitude threats in adverse weather. It was a major leap forward in naval situational awareness and electronic warfare. However, this level of innovation came with significant cost. To reduce expenses without severely compromising capability, the Navy switched radar systems, starting with the second ship in the class, CVN-79 John F. Kennedy. It adopted the Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar, EASR, a more cost-effective and modular system. While slightly less complex than DBR, EASR still delivers strong detection capabilities and allowed the Navy to save over $180 million per ship a key step in keeping future Ford-class vessels on budget. The U.S. Navy has ambitious plans to expand its fleet of Ford-class supercarriers, aiming to construct 10 of these next-generation vessels and maintain 12 active carriers by mid-century. These state-of-the-art ships symbolize the future of American naval dominance. So far, 6 Ford-class carriers have been confirmed: CVN-78 Gerald R Ford, CVN-79 John F. Kennedy, CVN-80 Enterprise, CVN-81 Doris Miller, CVN-82 William J. Clinton, and CVN-83 George W. Bush. With each new carrier, the Navy expects a reduction in cost, dropping from the initial $12.8 billion for CVN-78 to approximately $11.3 billion for the subsequent ships. This downward trend reflects lessons learned, improved shipbuilding techniques, and more efficient integration of advanced technologies. While the U.S. continues to refine its carrier capabilities, China is determined to challenge that dominance. The Type 003 Fujian, launched in 2022, marks a major leap forward for the People's Liberation Army Navy. It is China's first carrier to be equipped with an electromagnetic catapult launch system, putting it in the same technological league as Ford. This makes Fujian the first non-American carrier to incorporate this capability, and it underscores Beijing's commitment to building a world-class blue water navy. Fujian is slightly smaller than Ford, 1,036 feet long, 249 feet wide, and displacing around 80,000 tons. It can carry approximately 52 aircraft, significantly fewer than Ford's 90. More critically, it is conventionally powered, unlike the nuclear-driven Ford class. This gives it a much shorter operational range and greater dependence on supply ships. Nonetheless, Fujian's use of modern systems, including the KJ-600 WACS aircraft, enhances China's ability to project power farther from its shores. These radar planes significantly improve situational awareness and battle coordination, potentially closing the gap with America's E-2D Hawkeye fleet. Fujian also symbolizes a shift in Chinese naval thinking from coastal defense to true expeditionary capability. As Beijing builds more carriers and improves its shipbuilding speed and doctrine, it could soon operate multiple carrier strike groups, giving it regional and even global reach. Still, challenges remain. China's lack of real-world carrier combat experience, slower sortie generation rates, and reliance on untested systems could limit its effectiveness in the near term. Ultimately, the Ford versus Fujian comparison is more than just a matchup of ships. It reflects a deeper contest between an experienced global superpower and a rising challenger rapidly learning the ropes of maritime dominance. The Ford class doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's part of a vast U.S. military network, satellites, submarines, drones, radar stations, and overseas bases. But in a potential conflict over Taiwan, geography favors China. Beijing is constructing a comprehensive anti-access area denial A2AD network aimed at preventing U.S. forces from operating freely in the region. This sophisticated system includes a variety of advanced weapons and defenses, such as the DF-21D and DF-26 ballistic missiles, often called carrier killers, as well as Type 55 destroyers, hypersonic weapons, submarines armed with cruise missiles, and fortified artificial islands. Together, these elements create a layered defense designed to keep potential adversaries at bay. This layered system makes it extremely risky for any U.S. carrier group, Ford included, to operate close to the Chinese mainland. In the end, this isn't just about two warships. It's a test between two strategies, two technologies, and two visions for the future. The U.S. sees aircraft carriers as mobile bases for power projection. China, by contrast, views them as tools to control nearby seas and prevent foreign interference. Although Ford is more advanced, China's rapid naval expansion, home field advantage, and growing a 2AD capability make this competition far more complex than a simple tech comparison. Even with superior technology and decades of experience, the U.S. must now operate in a Pacific that's becoming increasingly dangerous, contested, and unpredictable. So the question remains, will aircraft carriers like the USS Gerald R Ford continue to dominate the seas? Or are they becoming vulnerable dinosaurs in a new age of warfare? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future content like today's. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.